If I'm John Jones and I'm home watching this fight, I start moving to 85.
You think that's a fight that you'd like to put together next? I mean, I know we don't matchmake.
Before, it was all about the Predator's power. Could he land was the question everyone had on their mind. But now, well, it's time to move to 205, because it's just not smart to fight the scariest man alive. The fight starts. Right away, Stipe and Francis both show disturbing calmness under pressure, which just makes everybody's hearts beat a little faster. Ngannou sees Stipe coming close to him, and he punishes that initiative with a brutal low kick. Francis is looking dangerously comfortable. He's bouncing on his feet, throwing feints, changing his level, his stance, waiting for his moment. Now, it's time for his first punch. He takes a step forward, measures the distance with the jab, and follows it up with a straight to the body. Fortunately for Stipe, it only grazes him. 20 seconds later, Ngannou goes for it again, but this time the range is not adequate and Miocic easily circles out. This small mistake from Ngannou could be a sign of him losing his composure, but instead of chasing Stipe in a straight line like he would have done in their first fight, Francis cuts the octagon effectively, basically giving Miocic two choices. He can move towards that direction, which is risky because there's limited space there and Stipe doesn't want to be too close to the Predator. Second option, move in the other direction, where the heaviest recorded human power resides. Pretty tough choice. Miocic eventually decides to circle into the available space towards Ngannou's power side. That's an opportunity for Francis. He throws a jab, then another, guiding Stipe where he wants him. A third jab in a row, this time to the body, sets up the next strike perfectly. Despite Stipe ducking his head, the huge right hand over the top lands hard. Ngannou's power is simply next level. The way he gets through the target, it's like Stipe's head's not even there. Ngannou's right hand is an unstoppable force. We got a new champ, folks. Oh, never mind. Stipe just eats it, I guess. Okay. Ngannou's gonna need more, it seems. Once again, he goes for the jab to the head, straight to the body combo, but this time Stipe times it magnificently and smartly grabs the single leg. Francis immediately tries to take control of Stipe's head, and once he's regained this balance, he switches his grip, turns his body and lifts Stipe's chin up with pure strength. Miocic has to adjust, so he tries to bury his head in Ngannou's crotch to finish the single, but in return, Francis pushes his head down and breaks his posture. This allows Ngannou to start sprawling with the right angle. He takes full control over Stipe's midsection and just muscles him to the ground. At that moment, the champion is getting bullied. Ngannou says fuck you to gravity and spiders his way to Stipe's back, just like Brock Lesnar used to do to other heavyweights back in the day. Francis holds on to Miocic, trips one leg, forces Stipe to put all of his weight on his other leg, trips that one, and slams him on his knees. That's a huge small victory for Ngannou, and he doesn't stop as he starts landing some heavy shots. He ducks down for another takedown, keeping the offensive wrestling going. Small mental mistake from Ngannou there. He's getting a little bit ahead of himself. But what does he do as soon as Stipe defends his takedown attempt? He patiently waits. He takes a breather. He corrects his mistakes before it's too late. He moves slowly while recovering. He feints the naked right, not committing. After a few seconds, he's ready to explode again, from the southpaw stance this time. He takes a big step forward and surprises his opponent with a powerful head kick. To connect with the toe and still obtain that kind of impact. Insane. And now, back to the energy conservation stuff. Patience, feints, octagon control, until there's an opening. Ngannou feints the jab and Stipe reacts by moving out of range and then in again. As he's closing in, Francis times him beautifully and lands a naked right hand at the limit of his reach. Miocic can't react in time. Ngannou's taking notes. Here, Ngannou unleashes a massive left, overextending himself in the process, but instead of getting frustrated, he remains calm, focusing on positioning. He follows Miocic slowly, and then boom, he takes a very nice step right there, cutting Stipe off with the perfect angle. Once again, there's tons of space to Ngannou's right for Stipe to circle into, and limited space to Ngannou's left. The new Predator is in full control of the octagon. Second round. Miocic enters the pocket just like he was doing all the time against DC by moving his head to the left off the center line. Only problem is, Ngannou's reach is not comparable to DC's. Francis takes a slight step back and counters precisely with a beautiful left hook. One of the scariest things about Ngannou is that he can fight going backwards. He can generate brute force in any position, so when you see him take a back step like that, it makes you a little less motivated to pressure the mountain of a man that he is. 40 seconds in, Francis is ready to do something special for Africa. He launches a right hand out of nowhere, just like he did a few minutes before. It hides Stipe's vision and it opens up his guard. So far, the few times he's thrown that technique, he didn't follow it up. But this time, he does. With the help of his forward momentum, he executes the super jab, which lands brutally, right on the mouth. All things touched by Francis go south. Despite the excitement following this violent knockdown, Ngannou still keeps control with his arm to avoid the takedown. He creates some space to track Stipe's face, looking close at the action to choose the perfect shot selection. The Predator's instinct is on high alert. It's time to kill while the prey's hurt. He takes off and puts everything into that winging left hand. Stipe stops him in his tracks and clocks him. Recognizing that his overexcitement just led to his overextension, Francis Ngannou stops his blitz and takes a very smart back step. Stipe sees this and thinks, wow, he must be hurt. He has to be. So he moves in for the finish. But Ngannou's feet are already firmly planted. His counter is quick, left-handed, short hook, accurately placed, short-term consciousness erased. This time, it's for real. We've got a new heavyweight champion of the world. Francis Ngannou's killer instinct was never in question, but now he has learned to tame it. He's able to correct his mistakes from the past and his mistakes from the present. In this fight, every time he did something wrong, he immediately corrected it, and that is the scariest thing about him now. Like I said before, there is a big difference between this man and that thing is gonna be hard to beat. Good luck, heavyweights.